So I'll share my prediction that I predict that the three children from the story won the contest. And I think that because on page 14, Tom, their camp counselor, came up to them and said, "I really like how it plays," and that their game was a lot of fun. So I can predict that the three children will win the contest. So that's actually the end of our story. So we don't get to find out, but I think based on the prediction that we made, that we can confirm that these students won based on what the counselor had said to them. So now I want you to ask yourself the essential question. So remind yourself the essential question is, how do inventions and technology affect your life? So how would you think that essential question comes into this story? How did the inventions or technology affect the children in the story's lives? So if we go back to the very beginning, so on page 3, 4, and 5, you can see that the student's computer is all messed up. On page 4, he has his hands on his head. The little girl with the blonde hair looks really sad, and it just does not seem like technology is working in their favor. So I would say that right now it seems like technology is negatively affecting their lives right now. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes Wi-Fi stops working and things like that. But it's also important to know that technology can affect our lives in positive ways as well. So if we keep going, when we get to the very end of the story, you see that the little girl is displaying their game to the rest of the kids at the camp. And you can see that even though the technology may not have worked in their favor in the beginning of the story, that towards the end they were able to figure it out, and having that technology affected their lives positively because they were able to make this game and they were able to take the pieces from the first time that there was a malfunction in their game and make it even better. So now it's time for your independent work. So for your independent work, you will be reading a text from the Wonders textbook called A Telephone Mix-Up. So this story that you were reading is a historical fiction. So make sure that when you are reading it, you are able to identify that it is a historical fiction, because it has events that are taking place or happening that have occurred in history. That the new invention, I don't want to give away the story too much, but the new invention that is going to be in the story is a real life invention. It did happen in history. So that's how you can make sure that you are reading a historical fiction. So in your Google form, you will follow along with the text and make predictions in the space provided throughout the story. Keep in mind what you are looking for when you are making predictions. So remember, you're using those clues in the text, such as characters' words and characters' actions. And then once you have completed your independent work, you will have a short exit ticket to complete as well. And I hope that you enjoy the story that we are reading today. It's not too long, it's only a couple pages. And just make sure that you're rereading, that, like I said, you're focusing on the characters' words, you're focusing on the characters' actions, because being able to predict means you're actively reading, you're engaged in your reading, and that makes you a really strong reader. And you can take that out into the real world and be able to understand conversations and to predict what could be happening and to be able to respond. So make sure that when you are reading, like I said, you reread and you make sure you're looking for those characters, words, and actions so that you can give the best possible answer. Good luck, and I hope you enjoyed today's lesson.